Hello there, and welcome to another Thomas Wooden Railway review video. In this video, I am doing a review on the Thomas Wooden Railway Bertie. Now, the one that you are looking at is the 2000s version of Bertie. This is a version of Bertie that came out in 2003, I believe. It's part of the revamped design. This is pretty much the second version of Bertie that has come out in Thomas Wooden Railway form. And right here, I have the original Thomas Wooden Railway Bertie from the 90s. Now, I have had this since childhood, and this Bertie came in a Thomas and Bertie's Great Race pack, which is a pack that's not a full train set, but it just contains elements to try to re-interact the events of Thomas and Bertie's Great Race, which came with this Bertie and a tired-out version of Thomas and a Knapford station, which is one of the two Knapford stations that I had, which was convenient because I had already gotten one Knapford station and I was interested in getting another one, and that was how I got my second one. So that was pretty good, but I'm not going to be showing those off in this video. I'm just telling you that that was the set, just in case you don't know about it. And I can't quite remember what else came in that pack, but you know, if you know about it, then you know what does come in that pack. So anyway, I've noticed that there have been a couple of paint chips that have come off on this guy, I think, over the years, even though I've hardly ever used him. I'm not quite sure what the whole deal is. Oh, and you also notice that underneath is the name Bertie. I wrote that, you know, because this was that was around the time when the characters started to have their names be put underneath them, and since this Bertie did not have his name underneath him, I wrote it down myself. Although with this version of Bertie right here, his name is already there. I did not write that. That was already there when I took this out of the box. Oh, and this version of Bertie was, I just purchased this one, because I think it looks much better than the original, because, well, the original is just very old looking, and you know, it's kind of out of date, and, you know, the characters are getting, well, the characters had gotten much, you know, a revamped design. In fact, it kind of looks like this one's face is about to come off. I mean, it won't come off, you know, totally easily. It just looks as though it's going to be coming off. Now, I'm going to be doing a little comparison between these two Berties. And one comparison is the fact that the older Bertie has passengers on the side. You can see a couple of passengers, such as a lady with a ponytail and a hat. There's a guy with a pipe. There's a little girl with a ponytail. And over here we have a guy with a hat, a girl with a bow in her hair, a guy with a beard, a boy with a hat, and then there's the driver, and then there's the driver up at front. But with the new version of Bertie, we don't have any passengers in the windows, but we do still have the driver. Not quite sure why they decided to make that change. And also, they've actually added a window to the back that the original did not have. The original also does not have a set of taillights like this new one does, and the original also does not have a magnet on the back, while this one does. Not quite sure why they decided to add a magnet to the back, considering that Bertie has never been shown to pull anything by any means. He doesn't have any back wrench to allow himself to pull stuff like carts or something, like Trevor was able to pull a cart, for example. But I guess they just figured that kids would want to imagine Bertie being able to pull something like that, so they just added the magnets back there anyway. I personally don't find having a magnet on the back to be that much of an issue. And another thing is that the original Bertie has this sort of stopping point, you know, like a little slope over on the back, which is very accurate to the TV series version, while the new version of Bertie does not have the slope. And I'm not quite sure why they did that, probably to make it easier to put the magnet in there. And looking at the front, can you see it better? See it good? Kind of bright. Well, it was bright from where I was looking at anyway on the camera. So anyway, I find the face on the new version to be much better looking in comparison. And also for the headlights, the original's headlights were put on with small magnets, while the new version has them painted on. So that right there is my review on the Wooden Railway Bertie. If I do decide to do a series, I will certainly be using the new version. The old version, I guess I could probably have it be pulled off as maybe being another bus, because in the episode Thomas and Bertie's Great Race, in the background you can see that there is another red bus. We never see the bus's face, if it even had a face anyway, but it does show that Bertie is not the only red bus on Sodor. It's kind of odd how they would have another bus in the background, but we don't get to see that bus's face or anything, or even know if it even has a face. You know, this could probably be pulled off as one of Bertie's fellow buses, but you just look at it at the back. So anyway, that is my review on the Thomas Wooden Railway Bertie. Now, the Thomas Wood version of Bertie, like with all of the different road vehicles, has this sort of hatch on the back which allows for someone to put a figure inside of it, but it just kind of makes the character look a bit open in the back. That's a personal issue that I have with the Thomas Wood line, having that section to put figures in the back. It just makes the character look open in the back, and I personally would recommend that they actually cover that figure up, like have some sort of coverage on the top, you know, put something on top of the figure, you know, and not make the character look all open in the middle. Alright, well that's all. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you again soon.